Okay, I'm Alexander. I'm from consulting department, and my team participates in challenging cybersecurity audit projects, bringing together pen testers, forensics. We actively use MITRE ATT&CK on our projects to speak the same language on our projects. I'll talk about some R&D projects that help automate and simplify. Because I can't demonstrate those tools, I'll be sharing some screenshots of how they look, and there will be a screenshot of where you can read more about those tools. But before I talk about the tools themselves, first I want to talk about where these projects come from. There's this security center. This is a research center. The Center for Threat-Informed Defense, part of MITRE Engenuity. They work with tech companies, develop R&D projects. You can read about them. There's a QR code, and every year they publish an impact report. This year it's Impact Report 2023. They have already published a few such reports and a few dozen projects. I will talk about them later. I will also talk about some open source projects that do things better or in a different way. R&D projects fall into three big buckets, or can fit on the elements of a pyramid. On the background, there's the build, attack, depend pyramid, and an effective interaction sits in the interaction of those three teams: pen testers, developers, and monitoring. And the first project is Attack Power Suite. That's a free browser extension in Chrome. Those who work with MITRE ATT&CK, you know how inconvenient the search is. If you type in a technique number, there will be a whole list of things, but you wouldn't be able to find what you need. So Attack Power Suite is a plugin that helps you to select from or select what you need. And it also helps you to work with the matrix without going to the website. You can open the report paper, you can read the report, and this is the first time you see that technique. You highlight the technique, there's a context menu, you can go to the app and read about it. Very convenient. And the second feature is that it helps to work with layers comfortably. If we want to do SOC assessments, or if we want to create a heat map of techniques, we'll most likely do that with an attack navigator rather than in Excel. But it is not that convenient to color techniques. That takes a while. And this helps using the bookmark tool to add layers. We add bookmarks, we import a JSON format, and we can happily work with this. So the next one is ATT&CK. It's a gap analysis tool. The MITRE ATT&CK matrix is updated twice a year. Since April last year, there has been 3 updates, and there have been major updates. The products that are based on MITRE ATT&CK, they go out of date if they can't catch up. On MITRE ATT&CK, there's a version history where you can read what changed, but it is not convenient. If you want to compare 2 versions, 10 and 15, it's not possible to do that. ATT&CK, it's a gap analysis tool. Here I compared versions 15 and 14, 15 being the most latest version, and on the right you can see in a convenience form what has been added, and hopefully you all have used MS Word. You know this revision tool, and you can track changes tool, and you can see in track changes what has been added and what has been deleted. The next tool is Attack Flow. I think that you read reports by Positive Facts and other vendors, and there's a description descriptive part of an incident, and sometimes there's a graphic visualization of how an attack unfolded. There's a better format. On the left, there's a differ format. But here you can see that an attack is non-linear. And we can have jumps back and forth between a structure. Clearly, a chart like this doesn't give us good understanding, but only the context, what was used when it started. And the guys created this attack flow. It is a tool that helps to visualize an attack, to build block diagrams. If you had experience of modeling business processes, there are various notations, and this is similar to an EPC notation, when you create an event at the top, and then you link various sources that help you better understand what was happening. This diagram, the image quality is not that good, but this is a classic phishing attack, and let me walk you through the blocks and boxes. Here you can see the phishing attempt and the attachment that was sent to the user, a brief description, the metadata of the attachment, quite a lot of information. Then the conditional operator, payloaded, launched yes or no, and a RAM dump, for extracting passwords from the RAM. This is not a full set of tools. There are many of those, and there is no book that can teach you how to model using them. But there's a good example. MITRE designed this themselves. A year ago, they were breached, and the guys published a few posts about how they were breached and how they investigated. This is quite a large diagram, but it's good to study how this or that tool works. The next tool is Attack Extractor. This is not an R&D project center. It is part of the MITRE defense matrix. In addition to MITRE attack, there's the Engage shield. This matrix is aimed at attacking the attacker, and MITRE Defense, which expands some mitigations that exist in MITRE attack. So Attack Extractor is a tool that's available on the website of MITRE Defense. It helps extract the techniques from a report. Suppose we have a table. Currently, most vendors, even Russian ones, publish reports that lists techniques. And suppose we want to work with them somewhere. To avoid copying them, we just cut and paste it in a tool, and we come up with a set of techniques with which we can work. And it's good that if we use it together with Attack Pro Suite and Attack Extractor. Let's look at the algorithm. We take a report, any report, say by zone, the techniques here, we copy them with an extractor, and we come up with this list. We add them into Attack Pursuit. We add them to favorites, and we have the JSON layer, which is convenient to work with. This is a little bit of an ad hoc automation, but here's the script that can help you do it easier, but it only works with websites. You cannot give it a PDF. It wouldn't work with a PDF. But you can give it a website, and it would put in a directory a JSON that you would be able to use in your attack navigator. The next tool is Mapping Explorer. The MITRE attack matrix has this mitigation entity. In the current version of the matrix, there are 43 of those, and there are quite blurry, so there are various standards to expand those controls. And there are quite a few mappings already. of MITRE to various standards, such as to this 853 CIS and others. And the guys decided to do a definitive mapping, and they came up with this. And here's what they have. It's a cool tool, but sadly, many standards are outdated, and the mapping is to the older version of MITRE because they cannot catch up with the current version. So that's 1 or 2 years behind. I recommend not limiting yourselves to that tool. There are more useful tools. The first one is CIS Control Navigator. In my view, this is the best security control. They have mappings to everything, to MITRE, to CDSS, to SO, to a lot of standards. And you can play with things here. And the second one is Control Validation Compass, a good tool that helps you not just to find the controls that mitigate a particular technique, but also for any technique find a rule set, not just for MITRE ATT&CK, but also for various tools and emulation plans. For every technique, it's all grouped together. The only sad thing is that they're lagging a bit behind the development of the standard itself. And the last but one case that you can come across, that's when developers of a report fail to mention the techniques, and you have to find them yourselves. And you think of using some generative AI, such as ChatGPT, and you open your ChatGPT, you put the description of the incident, and it would work quite well. But the disadvantage is that it works with an old matrix, so it doesn't know all the techniques. And then again, you have to double-check after it. And there are agents that help improve ChatGPT for that. And half a year ago, an expert put together all of these agents. There's a GitHub project for that, and you can install 2 agents, MITRE GPT and ATT&CK that can help work with MITRE ATT&CK Matrix with ChatGPT better. If you don't want to feed your reports to the cloud or to the neural network, if you want to install it locally on-prem, for that you have a TRAM. That is a development of machine learning tools. The guys thought of building a tool that would identify the techniques that are currently used in an attack. You download it and you can use it. You need quite a lot of GPU power to run, but it breaks down the data into blocks and it shows you matches to a particular technique. Sadly, currently it can only work with 50 techniques, and there are many more MITRE techniques. And the number 50 is the most widely used ones. If you read reports, you would find top 20, 30, 50 techniques. They decided to focus on 50 main ones. A tool that does the same thing but easier, in a simpler way. Again, it has a machine learning model under the hood and TRAMP database of the previous project, but this one is in the form of a script. It works faster, but you need to pre-train model. But all of this, of course, is available with English language requests. It wouldn't understand Russian language, but it is able to single out the techniques that are used in an attack. Moving on. Oh, I have 50 seconds left. I think I will have enough time. There's a great project called Tidal Cyber Matrix. It is a bit similar to the Attack Navigator, and the purpose of the project is to share with other experts the various layers. That was the first purpose of the project. The main difference from MITRE ATT&CK is that you have pre-installed layers that you can import, such as the the layer here, Casino or Red Canary, you can see some reports that can already be mapped to MITRE ATT&CK. The tool contains various APTs and the software that is not yet in the MITRE, so the guys work even faster, and you can filter that. It requires a very simple registration, a cool tool. I recommend. And my final slide, I've run out of time. I won't be talking you through it. If you want a ranking of techniques and you don't want to read reports, you are welcome to look at these tools that have been updated recently. You can use them. Here's my Telegram channel, where I write about MITRE ATT&CK. You're welcome to follow me.